So that's the imager right there. From the looks of it, the inside lens barrel is look crooked. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. I wonder if it just got stuck, or somebody pushed down on the barrel and it got stuck like that. Okay, finally figured out how to take this lens barrel apart. Took me only around 5 hours to take it apart and then figure out how to put it back together. I think the hardest part was putting it back together. But once you get a hang of it, it's pretty quick. I had a similar experience with this with the my Canon S100, which had a broken cable. This one, so I had to replace that one. And that one, when I did that maybe 2 years ago, it took a long time, several hours to figure out how to take it apart and put it back together as well. So fortunately with this one, the cable is intact, nothing is broken. So as you saw previously, it was just this inner barrel. It was just cocked the wrong way. It was crooked. So I'm guessing that whoever owned the camera previously, uh, the lens was protruding out, and then they dropped it, and that forced this lens barrel to uh, cave in on itself, crooked, and that would explain the dent on the camera body as well. So what I did is I just shook the lens barrel in and out, and then pushed on this back and forth until this inside barrel straightened up. So that took a few push and pulls, but eventually it did it. So now if you want to continue to further to take this apart, what you would do is, well, first let me show you how the lens looks like. So this one's all repaired now. So that's how it should look like. That's the proper orientation. And I've taken out the 3 gears that was sitting over here, so I don't lose them. So the first thing you need to do to fully disassemble this lens barrel is, first you should remove this spring. Like that. Keep that in a safe place. Now this cable was inserted in here previously, so it was outside here. So what you need to do is pull that in. First you need to extend the lens barrel by rotating this outside gear right here. You can see this gear. So this gear is driven by the motor over here. So you just need to rotate that barrel until the inside barrel lowers and the barrel extends like so. So you just keep extending that. So you keep extending that until the space over here is big enough. Let me see if it will show. This space in here is big enough for this ribbon cable to go in. and then you pull it out through the inside like so. So you want this L gap to show up. So the lens is now extended this way, or that far out. And then once you've done that, now you fully extend the, well, this sliding door over here. You should take that out to prevent it from breaking off. So you just slide it all the way to the right, and then just gently lift it off, gently, like that. There. So you just lift it like that, and it should come off. Now be careful when you're lifting it, because with mine, I broke mine, this part, as I was trying to figure out how to take this thing apart. I kept hitting this part, and eventually this tiny protrusion broke off. So I had to plastic weld that thing back together. As you can see, it looks rough now because I welded it back on. And before you proceed, it would be wise that you mark the lens barrel. There's 3 lens barrels with a red marker. So what I did is I just put red dots on this outside barrel, and the middle barrel, and then the inner barrel with 3 red dots. So that would keep it aligned. So just for reference, when I'm putting it all back together, I want to make sure those 3 dots are all lined up. Let's see if the camera can pick up those red dots. You can just barely see it, so put a red dot here, red dot there, and a red dot here. So that's just for reference. And then on this edge, on the outside barrel, there's a ring or a gasket that keeps the dust from getting inside here. So you want to remove that. So there are 3 tabs around that ring, and you just, I don't know, you take a pin or something and then just pry it up to force it open. Now I'm not sure whether this ring seal was initially glued on, or it was just held on by these 3 tabs around it. Because when I took off mine, I didn't know that this ring was there, so I was just pulling on this middle barrel, and everything just came out. So anyway, so there are 3 ring tabs around this ring, so you just go around it if it's not glued. So I'm just going around it and until it pries off. So there's like 2 rings. This outside ring. Let me see if I can show you the 3 tabs. So there's like this L-shaped tab in there. Right there, focus. So those hooks right there. So there's 3 of that around it. The ring doesn't feel sticky, so I don't know if the adhesive has dried up or what. So those three hooks go inside these slots over here. There's 3 of them. The 3 big slots around. And then there's another ring there. So this is the main wiper that keeps the dust off. So this one goes in first, and then the metal ring. This is the metal ring. Okay. Okay, now once that's down, on the outside barrel, there's a ring here that moves, and that, so while you're holding the outside barrel with your left, hold it stationary, and then with your right hand, you just spin this ring, and that allows the barrel to extend or retract. So what we want is for that barrel to fully extend, like so. Also, while you're extending the barrel, make sure that this cable doesn't snag on anything and break. So you do it so slowly, and then watch for this cable. Make sure it doesn't snag on anything. So that's how it looks. So that's fully extended. So once again, you have to be precise when you're doing this, because if you get it wrong, it won't come off easily. So once the barrel is fully extended, now you could just take off the barrels one at a time. First, I'm just holding the outside barrel stationary, and then I'm gonna move the middle ring or middle barrel, like so. And then the inside barrel. And then this lens can come off as well. So you just tip it over, and then just gently pry it. It should slide off. By the way, if this inside lens doesn't come off easily, there's also a ring on this inside barrel that you could spin around, and that makes this inside lens protrude, like so. So what you want is just spin this ring until the lens is fully bottomed out, like that. And then just, you should be able to just slide it off easily, like that. So this is a good way to clean off any dust that's gotten inside. And that's the inside. So there's electromagnets in here, so that controls the lens shift, optical image stabilization feature. And now, with my right hand, I'm grabbing this outside ring, and then I'm just gonna pull this ring and this inside barrel out, like so. And I've never figured out how to remove this inside barrel from this barrel, but this barrel just goes up and down like that. So, and that's as far as I went from dismantling this. I didn't even bother taking this fully apart. I have no reason to. But with my Canon S100, I took this apart, and it was a hell trying to put it back together because of the iris, the way you have to align them. It was very complicated. I had a lot of trial and error trying to get it put back together, and I'm not gonna do that with this camera. So yeah, like I said, with my Canon S100, this cable was broken because of the way the lens moves in and out, and over time the bend, this cable usually bends, and over time it just fatigues and creates a crack and severs the copper traces. And I looked at on eBay, a replacement cable for this camera is roughly $8 from China. So there you go.